In this video, we'll share our visit to Antelope Island State Park featuring the Great Salt Lake in Utah. Antelope Island State Park, surrounded by the Great Salt Lake, is a remote state park an hour drive from Salt Lake City. Did you know that the Great Salt Lake is the largest body of water in the United States after the Great Lakes? The Great Salt Lake is 70 miles long, 30 miles wide, but less than 40 feet deep at its deepest point. Why visit Antelope Island State Park? Absolute beauty, white sandy beaches, towering cliffs, and secluded coves and inlets to explore for bison. In this video, we'll share our visit to this astonishingly beautiful Antelope Island State Park near Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to Hipfig. If you're a travel enthusiast, then join our community by subscribing to this channel. This is the Salt Lake City, Utah series for visitors. This episode is the Antelope Island State Park helpful travel guide for new visitors to this natural wonder. Antelope Island State Park is located at 4528 West 1700 South, Syracuse, Utah. Set your GPS from your location to this address. We drove from Salt Lake City to Antelope Island on a hot, overcast summer day, which took a little over an hour with restroom stops. We got on Interstate 15 going north and exited at exit 332 towards Utah 108 North. Then we merged onto Utah 108 North and continued through a bustling town. This is the town of Syracuse, Utah, and it's a good place to stop by to get some food or drinks if needed. We continued on Utah 108 through a neighborhood, at which point 108 is renamed Antelope Drive. We continued on this road and followed the signs for Antelope Island State Park. Antelope Drive then becomes the Davis County Causeway, which is a narrow two-lane road bridging the mainland to Antelope Island. As you continue on Davis County Causeway, you will meet the Antelope Island State Park entrance. A few feet from the entrance gate is the entrance booth to pay your fee. The Utah State Park daily use fee for Antelope Island State Park is $10 per car. Antelope Island State Park is generally open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, all year round, and closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas. We continued driving on the causeway after paying our fee and drove 7 miles into the northeast section of the Antelope Island State Park. Antelope Island is the largest of the 10 islands located within the Great Salt Lake. While we were driving on the causeway, we smelled a rotten egg smell. This is bacteria in the water decomposing organic matter. Once we actually reached the island, the smell did dissipate. The entrance is located near the northern end of Antelope Island. The northern side of the island is the most developed and where you can find amenities. It has several campsites, a day-use area, swimming area, and picnic areas near Bridger Bay on the northwestern end of the island. On this side of the island, you will find Island Buffalo Grill, which is at Buffalo Point. You'll also find Antelope E-Bikes, who offers guided tours on electric bikes. FYI, there's only one main road on the island, which forks at the entrance on the island right towards the visitor center and beaches and left towards the wildlife sightings and historical cattle ranch. The first place we stopped on Antelope Island was the visitor center at the top of the hill along the coast. Once on the island, we followed the signs for Antelope Island Visitor Center along the road. As we drove along the coastal road, we were mesmerized by the views of the calm Great Salt Lake. At the Visitor Center sign, we made a left from the main road up the hill to the Antelope Island Visitor Center. The Antelope Island State Park Visitor Center is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily all year round, but closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas. There was ample free parking when we arrived. One of the first things we noticed from the parking lot was the serene view. The Antelope Island State Park Visitor Center is located atop a hill, so from this perch we could see the vast 28,000 plus acres of Antelope Island with sweeping views of the Great Salt Lake and the backdrop of Wasatch and Sierra Nevada mountain ranges. This panoramic view from the visitor center is absolutely breathtaking and worth coming to for this perfect picture. Once in the visitor center, there are restrooms outside and informational displays and a 20-minute video and a small gift shop inside. There are also art displays, as well as they offer a junior ranger program for Utah state parks. One of the things I personally wanted to experience was to float in the Great Salt Lake. After talking to the rangers, we were told that the best place to experience the lake's high saline waters is Bridger Bay Beach. Once we got back into our car, we drove down to the main road and made a left towards the beach. The view was absolutely awesome driving down from the visitor center. It was about a 10-minute drive down the hill. There are signs along the main road which led us to the parking lot of Bridger Bay Beach. Once we arrived at Bridger Bay Beach, we parked in the small parking lot and walked to the nearby restrooms to change. By the way, there are also outside showers available near the parking lot. We saw shaded picnic areas too. After changing into our bathing suits, we began to walk down to the water's edge, which is about a 10-minute walk. Please wear sunscreen. There is absolutely no cover from the sun once on the beach, and the sun is strong here. As we were walking, we found lots of broken shells and rocks, and the sand was really hot while walking down to the beach, so we suggest wearing slippers or water shoes to walk on the sand towards the beach. For your information, this unique sand found around Great Salt Lake is called oolitic sand. It's a result of the high mineral content of the water. Ironically, the Great Salt Lake is more like a desert. The salt content in this lake is so high that it prevents aquatic life from living in it, so fishing is definitely out here. On the other hand, people can easily float in the water due to the natural buoyancy caused by the salinity of the water, plus this lake never freezes over because of the salt content. I was really excited, so I barreled down this long walk to the water's edge. But surprisingly, there were not many people in the water, and we found out why once we neared it. Unfortunately for me, the salt content also attracts millions of tiny brine flies in late summer. And once we got near the shore, we saw thousands of brine flies which floated along the long shore of the beach. The camera was not able to capture these tiny flies, but there were so many flying around and floating in the water. To be honest, I tried several times to get into the water to float, but the copious amount of flies flying around me at each attempt was just too much in the end. I floated a bit up to my waist, but surrendered to the brine flies. The dark color that you're seeing now on the coast are actually the flies. After this experience, we jetted back to take a quick shower and back to our car so that we could drive on the east side of the Antelope Island State Park to look for wildlife. Did you know that Antelope Island has over 40 freshwater springs producing enough water to support the island's abundant wildlife? Well, if you drive one of these springs, you might catch a view of the many animals here. We drove on the main road east along Buffalo Bay. Driving along on this side of the island, we saw many herds of bison. Bison was not native to Antelope Island until 1893 when 12 bisons were brought here by ranchers, and now there are over 700 animals living on the island. There's an annual Bison Roundup held each fall. The roundup consists of two events, the push and the working. The push is where horse riders move or push the bison and drive them northward to the holding corrals where they are there for 5 days. The working event happens after the 5 days to sort the bison. Bison are weighed, vaccinated, and tracked with a computer chip. Excess bison are sold at a public auction to keep the herd within the supporting capacity of Antelope Island. On Antelope Island, you may also see the speedy pronghorn antelope, which is native to Utah and to this island, thus the name Antelope Island. You may also see mule deer and bighorn sheep, along with coyotes, badgers, bobcats, and numerous birds of prey such as owls, hawks, and falcons. We viewed the bison from our car from a safe distance. Make sure to bring a telephoto lens and/or binoculars. Further down the road, we stopped at Fielding Gar Ranch, located on the southeast side of the island. The Fielding Gar Ranch is the oldest continually inhabited homestead in the state of Utah and the oldest Anglo-built home in Utah still on its original foundation. Here you can take horse rides, explore the historical old buildings, and enjoy a picnic in the park south of the ranch. There are also several hiking trails along this area. Please check at the Visitor Center for more information. There are no lodges on Antelope Island. However, overnight camping is provided year-round. Reservations are recommended on weekends and holidays. Camping is permitted in designated campsites only. For those camping, Antelope Island also offers a starry night sky for spectacular views of the Milky Way. When you visit Antelope Island State Park, you are going to be wowed by the beautiful natural setting. Antelope Island in Salt Lake City is highly recommended for the whole family and will take at least a half day or more depending on your interest. Happy travels! Go to hipfig.com for more information, or go to our Hipfig travel channel on YouTube and be sure to subscribe for regular updates.